أعزائي المستمعين، مساء الخير عليكم وأهلا وسهلا بكم في حلقة جديدة من لقاءاتنا مع المحامي لورنس قاجي. معي في الاستوديو المحامي لورنس قاجي. أهلا وسهلا. Welcome, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you so much for having us.
Welcome, Mr. John.
Thank you so much. As always, a pleasure.
ومعنا طبعا العزيزة الباراليغال الأخت العزيزة تمارا حتى الترجمة لنا. أهلا وسهلا بك. طبعا اليوم الحلقة منقولة لايف على صفحة اذاعة صوت الغد، وأيضا على قناتنا في اليوتيوب فيوتشر راديو ميشيغان، والخطوط مفتوحة لاستقبال مكالماتكم على 586-825-2015، وأيضا رقم مكتب المحامي لورنس قاجي هو 248-702-6641، وموجودة كلها على الشاشة. اللي يحب يتصل بينا على الهواء يقدر يخابرنا على 586-825-2015. Today we will talk. Introduce yourself first.
Yeah. So
today again,
yes.
we want you to introduce yourself, you and Mr. John, and then we will start because we have 1 hour.
Sure. So to the listeners who listen to me every week,
Yes.
thank you so much. My name is Lawrence Qaji. I'm the owner of the Qaji law firm. It's pronounced a few different ways, right?
Yes. كاجي قاجي طبعا كل واحد يقوله شكل.
KJ.
What?
A lot of my clients that don't speak Arabic say KJ.
KJ.
Yeah. I've actually had a written correspondence that just says KJ.
I've seen KG, K period, G period.
Yeah.
So I've seen it all.
What is it exactly?
Well, I mean, who knows, right? I know,
Well, you should. It's your name. No, I'm just kidding.
His last name, and you don't know.
So the way we pronounce it in Arabic Chaldean is Qaji.
Qaji.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
And
In English.
the English, I say KG. Me and my cousins are always fighting about how to pronounce it. They say Qaji.
Qaji.
And
Okay.
we'll
At
see.
the end, what's?
There's no ending.
It's
It's a continuing discussion.
So the bottom line is, no matter what they call you, they're not wrong.
Right.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's a good way to do it.
Qaji, that's it.
So my name is John Schroeder. I'm the head of the pre-litigation department at. I'm going to go with Kaji Law Firm today, or should we go with KG? At the KG Law Firm.
Let's just mix it up today.
There we go. And
There you are free.
yeah, there you go. And I head up the intake department. So we handle all the cases that come into the firm from the very beginning, all the way until they go to the litigation. I even handle a couple of those sometimes, but most of the time we do have a litigation department which takes over the case at that stage. So we handle basically all of the initial information gathering, and we meet with the clients, and we go from there.
Okay, before you translate, what was your yesterday? You said I have announced. What was that announce again?
Yesterday?
No, last
Which
week.
one? Last week.
Yes.
So
It was about 51
Yeah.
cases. I don't know.
I mean,
something
yeah,
like
last
that.
week we broke our record of new signups. So that's exactly John and Tamara's department.
Yes.
Mhm.
So with every new case, every person that calls in, they will speak to Tamara directly.
Yes.
And then when they come in, they meet with John and myself, and we kind of take the case from there. So that record was broken by last week by this exact department. So
Great.
the people that we're sitting with here.
Okay.
We've been busy.
المحامي لورنس الاسم العائلي بيت قاجي.
بيت قاجي.
قاجي بالانجليزي بكيفك.
كيفك؟
هاي
هذا أهم شيء.
اهم شيء. والمحامي جون شرودر طبعا صار لي فتره كلش طويله اشتغل وياه.
نعم.
نشتغل سوا. هو
مسؤول
مسؤول عن القسم اللي احنا نشتغل به. وهو جدا جدا محبوب من الجميع.
واو.
جدا. كل شاطر.
That means everybody loves him.
ان هو ما دا يعرف اني هسه دا احكي عليه.
نعم ايه احسن.
نهائيا.
إيه.
ان كل شاطر كلش يعني down to earth.
Okay.
كلش يعني
Smart.
كلش.
If you guys see John's face right now.
John doesn't know what
I understand about half of what she's saying, and I'm already turning red here. So
No, it's a beautiful thing. They've worked together for a very long time. Even worked together before they even joined my office.
That's
so
true.
That's true. It's a beautiful thing. They make a great team.
Yeah.
Actually, when they
we
started,
understand each other very well.
Yeah.
Started actually
that's the best thing.
when Tamara started in my office, we actually created a whole new department. So this department that I'm talking about was created literally the week that Tamara had started with us. She started a brand new department for me that now has, how many people do we have in our department?
Oh my goodness, how many do we have? We have, well, between intake and pre-lit, there's well, let's see, there's at least seven. Well, and then
Seven
it
and
depends
eight.
if you include, right.
Kareem, with us.
Well, and also the Natalie and
Yeah.
Nadia, the receptionists, which are wonderful.
I
And
would say about 10.
10.
Yeah.
Some people.
So it started literally
With
when she came, started with one person.
One
Now
person.
it's grown to 10 people.
people.
That just that department.
I think they will be like 100 very soon.
Inshallah.
Let's see.
well, we're pretty busy, so I don't know if I can take 100,
مثل ما تفضل،
but we'll see.
We'll see.
ذاك الاسبوع الماضي كسرنا الرقم القياسي
نعم.
بالمكتب. باسبوع واحد اخذنا 51 كيس جديد.
51 قضيه جديده.
قضيه جديده.
كلش حلو.
كان كلش يعني
busy week.
Yeah.
كلش بس الحمد لله everything is moving and
And
slowly but surely.
And obviously, a lot of our listeners, have a lot to do with that, whether they are a current client or they're referring us cases. We thank everyone for all of our referrals, and we promise to take very good care of every single one of our clients.
طبعا خطوطنا مفتوحه لاستقبال مكالماتكم. اي واحد عنده سؤال استفسار على المواضيع اللي راح يحكي بيها المحامي لورنس والمحامي جان شرودر.
ومثل ما تفضل المحامي
please.
قال بأنه نشكر الجالية لدعمها إنه عن طريق وتعاونها، واللي خابرنا على التليفون، اللي يتصل بينا لهنا، اللي يتصل بينا بالمكتب، اللي دزلنا أي أحد عن طريق بأنه سمعونا. نشكر الكل على الدعم اللي ينطونا إياه.
حلو هذا.
وطبعا أهم شيء بأنه معناته عندهم ثقة بينا. هذا أهم شيء جدا مهم.
يعني trust.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
Okay, what do you want to say today?
We got a great topic
today.
So the topic today was not my idea. It was John's idea.
Well, and I got part of that idea thanks to talking with Tamara, because we brainstormed together.
Everything in your head.
So we brainstormed together. I want to give credit where credit is due. There's
the topic today I loved because it's always a big topic with with our cases, obviously, and it's always a very big topic for our listeners. So we're going to be talking about replacement services, attending care, also known as the khidma that you get from the car accident. How that plays a role into if you're getting a khidma from the state of Michigan, for example. How that plays a role in your accident case when you are claiming khidma. We'll also be touching on the other benefits,
lost wages,
medical mileages. We've talked about medical bills a ton.
I just want to say one thing. The word khidma.
Am I not using that word properly?
Lawrence, this is the first word he learned. He loves it. And he uses it very well.
Do I use it properly?
Very properly.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Khidma. Yes. Yeah. So
you know what's funny? I'm sorry to interrupt. Whenever I'm meeting with a new client, they think I don't speak Arabic, and I say that word, their eyes pop up like this.
I like the word Mohami because it's one of the only ones I know, and I'm like, okay, I'm Mohami, so there we go. I got that part.
Yep. They pop up too, right?
Yeah, they're like, wait, you know word.
Well, for me, it is the opposite. Because I go in and speak in English, and as soon as I say I begin speaking in Arabic.
Yeah.
Oh, عربية?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's always good.
اليوم الموضوع مالتنا.
وانت شكلك أمريكية.
Thank you.
والله دي.
اليوم موضوعنا جدا مهم. طبعا المواضيع اللي احنا نحكي بيها كل اسبوع دائما مو واحد من عندنا يختارها، بس نقعد ونفكر فدائما هي عن طريق تيم. teamwork. بالضبط. It's a teamwork. So it is thank you for all of us for choosing that subject, not just.
There we go.
So هاليوم راح نحكي بأنه راح نحكي شلون من عندك قضية تحصل على الخدمة البيتية. وعندك
من الستيت.
لا من وراء حادث السيارة. يس من وراء حادث السيارة شلون تصير عندك خدمة بيتية. شلون صار عندك خدمة صحية، خدمة يعني الشخصية. وهم يعني شلون تحصل رواتبك، شلون من تروح وتجي للأطباء بسبب هذا الحادث، المايلات. وهم يعني يجوز نحكي على شلون نعرف إذا أكو خدمة ويا الستيت وشلون نعرف إذا أكو خدمة ويا السيارة.
Yes, and just kind of the interplay between getting those services from the state or from your auto case, just kind of how they interplay with each other. Because so oftentimes we'll talk about this. We get clients that are already getting benefits from the state, and now they want to claim it for the accident case and.
Or alternatively, if they're not getting benefits from the state, they get injured in the accident and then they apply and they receive those benefits later. That impacts it too. Yeah.
So مثل ما قلت إذا عندهم مثلا يأخذون أي شيء من الحكومة بسبب يعني صحي أو آخر ويصير عندهم حادث سيارة، هذا راح واحد تتعارض ويا الأخ، ما يصير اثنيناتهم،
ما يصير اثنين سوية.
بالضبط. ومرات لا بالعكس، بأنه إذا أنت بحادث سيارة وكنت تحصل هاي الخدمات وبعدين تقدم على ويا الحكومة وهم تبدي تستلم، هم لازم تدير بالك، لازم توقف يعني واحدة من عندهم، ما يصير اثنيناتهم. وراح نطب يعني بالديتيلز
تفاصيل.
Before we get started, I just want to say one thing to the listeners. Please, if you're getting benefits from the state, let your attorney know for your accident case. You must let us know. We can't claim something and then find out that something later. We need to know if you are getting benefits from the state. So don't hide that from your lawyer.
لأنه المحامي هو أمين سر مالتك أنت، فاحكي له
دائما ويا الزبائن مالتنا رجاء كونوا صريحين. احنا وياكم، احنا راح نوقف ونساعدكم. فلازم نعرف كل شيء،
أدق التفاصيل.
بالضبط. كون صريح ويانا، كون أعطينا المعلومات الصحيحة، لا تضمها، لأنه إذا ضميتها وصار غلط ما بيها رجعة، انتهى. So أهم شيء.
You're better off letting us know. We'll work around it.
نشتغل مدار الشغلة، نعرف شلون نسويها حتى تمشي بطريقة صحيحة. والكل يستفادوا، لأن إذا صار شيء غلط احتمال تخسر كل شيء.
Or for example, any other kinds of benefits that are similar to the ones that are available in the No Fault Act, like, for example, workers' compensation or short-term disability or long-term disability payments. All those can impact these benefits as well.
همينا اللي تأثر على هاي الخدمات، بأنه إذا أنت مثلا صار عندك حادث وأنت كنت بالشغل، هاي همينا إلها غير يعني أشياء. We have a caller.
Oh, wonderful.
رجاء رجعوا اتصلوا بينا. مثلا إذا أنت عندك الشورت تيرم ديسابيليتي، يعني أنت تشتغل وبشغلك ينطوك أول 6 أشهر، يسموها العطلة القصيرة، مو عطلة بس هي ينطوك إجازة مرضية القصيرة بالضبط، اللي هي 6 أشهر. وراها تجي الإجازة المرضية الطويلة. فهاي همنا إلها علاقة بالحوادث السيارات وشلون لازم نرتبها.
طبعا اللي كانوا يتصلون خلي يعاودون الاتصال على 586-825-2015. Yes.
So maybe we should back up and just say the basis of getting these benefits, right? Just to remind the listeners.
Yeah.
So go ahead. You want to?
I mean, we always talk about the benefits generally speaking, right? We always kind of list them in list format, the 5 or 6 benefits, but we don't really go into them too much. So that's what we want to do today.
Yeah.
دائما احنا نقول اكو خدمات ونحكي على الخدمات وبس عسري، بس اليوم راح نخش بالتفاصيل وشلون. فراح نرجع شويه من البدايه وراح نبدي
Great.
Yeah. So just to back up, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page here, this is relating to a motor vehicle accident. As we've talked about many times, and we've given advice with respect to, what kind of policies you want to purchase. One of the benefits that are involved in the policies are your PIP benefits. And your PIP benefits, and these are sold with every policy, is going to include your lost wages and your replacement services. And then you elect a certain amount of PIP coverage for what are called your allowable expenses. And your allowable expenses include things such as attendant care, medical mileage, durable medical equipment, prescription reimbursement, and basically any other ancillary expenses. So again, just to recap, it's a motor vehicle accident, you've purchased coverage, and these are the benefits.
الو مرحبا اخي سقوني ساهر.
اهلا وسهلا عزيزي.
هاي عايد والوالي $20 ثاني مو؟
لا بحكي غير.
اريد اسلم عليهم، يلا سلمني عليهم. بس 20 لك ساوي وذي لك 50. اوكي عزيزي يلا محكوك منين يلا سلمنا عليهم.
Yes.
The gift card? Yeah.
She said gift card.
Oh, I see. Well, we still have some more.
We have 3.
Yeah, so she can call back with a question. She gets another one.
Wait, what was the question though?
She wasn't really a question.
She said thank you.
Oh, okay.
She's asking us to up our
gift cards.
Oh,
From 20 to 50.
That's so funny.
Said just call again with a question. You get another one.
It's good.
It's good. Yeah.
It's just good. That means they are listening.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
So مثل ما قلنا راح نرجع شوي من البداية. اليوم مالتنا السبجكت الموضوع بأنه أنت بحادث سيارة وعندك انشورنس على السيارة مالتك. مثل ما تفضل المحامي قال البيب اللي هي PIP هي البيرسونال انجري بروتكشن، هو الضرر الشخصي لك اللي عن طريق الانشورنس مال السياره. طبعا لك حق بيها اللي هي تدفع لك البلات مالتك، الفواتير الصحيه اللي لها علاقه بالحادث فقط، تدفع لك مثلا المساعدات البيتيه، المساعدات الصحيه، الرواتب، المايلات، حتى تدفع لك اذا الادويه همينة إذا تحتاج أي جهاز أو أي حزام ظهر أو أي شيء يعني مالت
لحمايتك
كازة أي شيء
يعني ضروريات قصدك.
ضروريات بالضبط اللي لها علاقة بالحادث هاي همينة كلها تدفعها.
نعم جميل.
So which benefit would you like to start with, Lawrence? What do you think?
I think because the replacement services are out of the allowable expenses category, maybe we should start with that replacement
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Replacement services. Okay.
So أول شيء راح نبدي بالمساعدات البيتية.
So yeah, go ahead, John.
Sure. So, I think the basis of replacement services, what is it? So these are things that you were able to do for yourself before an accident, right? And that as a result of injuries sustained in the accident, you now need assistance doing them, okay?
المساعدات البيتية هي المساعدات اللي أنت كنت قبل الحادث تقدر تسويها وتضررت من وراء الحادث وصار عندك أضرار جسدية اللي وراء الحادث هسه ما تقدر بعد تسويها. وهاي لك حق بيها.
Now, in addition, to it's for those services that you need help with now as a result of injury sustained in the accident. In addition to that, you also have to have at least some kind of agreement with the person that's providing the services, or that person has to have some kind of expectation of payment that they will receive monies for assisting you. Okay, so that's the second requirement. So both of those things have to be true.
النقطة الثانية اللي حتى تحصل هذا الشيء بأنه أنت عندك اتفاق مع الشخص اللي راح يساعدك.
يعني كشركة أو مساعد يعني أي شيء.
أي أكثر شيء إحنا نسويها خليها بين الأهل.
بين الأشخاص.
بالضبط. ما عندك أهل نقدر نجيب شركة ما عندك يعني بالضبط. سو عندك اتفاق بينك وبين الشخص اللي راح يسويها بأنه أنت راح تدفع له المصاريف المساعدة اللي راح يسويك إياها اللي أنت تحتاجها.
Now, one of the big things that comes up all the time here is I get a question and I say, well, my husband, my wife, my son, my daughter, my grandparents, one of my family members wants to provide this care. Can they get paid? They want the money. And the answer is yes, right? This happens all the time. A lot of people don't want other people coming into their house to provide them assistance. Right. When it comes to replacement services, there is no question that a family member can provide the service. The tricky part comes in when someone asks them a question later. Hey, you know, are they doing that for you just out of love? Well, people can do things for you for more than one reason.
Yeah, without paying.
They can say, yeah, I'm doing it because I love you, but also I want that $20 or whatever it is, you know. Right, exactly. So, well, and we'll go into the compensation levels on these things. But you know, I do expect money in exchange for the services. So.
مثل ما قلت الشركة أكثر شيء المساعدات البيتية أكثر العوائل ما تحب يعني تدخل أحد غريب للبيت فيبقوها بين الأهل. وطبعا احنا كطبيعتنا العرب بأنه نحب عن محبة نسوي الشيء. هواية يجوني مثلا بنتها ساعدتها تقولي شلون أني أخذ من بنتي فلوس مثلا شلون أخذ من أمي أنا دا ساعد أمي لو هاي أبويا بس هاي هنا يعني قانون واحد يعني مو بس قانون هذا حقك فأخذ الحقك.
That's one of the ways I always talk about how the insurance companies will try to trick you after an accident. Yeah. One of the ways is they'll ask you if you're getting replacement services from somebody. They could say a family or friend, and then could say, "Oh, well, are they doing it for you because they love you or because they want to get paid for these services?" And sometimes the client won't know how to answer. Say, "No, it's my brother, it's my sister, it's my mom." You know, they're doing it because they want to take care of me, and then there goes your replacement service claim.
Yeah. Interestingly, that saying that by itself, just say, hey, you know what, they do it because they love me, like that by itself isn't going to get you the benefit that you're actually entitled to and paid for in your premium under your insurance policy.
واحدة من الأسئلة أهل الإنشورنس يسألوها بكل يعني بكل سهولة يجيبوها بكل سلاسة حتى بأنه أنت أمك ساعدتك أخوك يعني ساعدوك رادوا
أهلك يعني
أهلك محبة أو يقول له طبعا يحبوني بس تقول هاي الحكاية كل شيء يروح صفر انتهى بعد كل شيء ما يدفعون مع العلم أنت تدفع تحت الباليسي مالتك على هذا الفقرة تدفع أنت كل شهر وهذا من حقك ومن حق الأهل اللي يساعدوك.
يعني أنه واحد من يروح دا يساعد أحد إذا أبوه ولا أمه ولا أخته ولا ابنها المفروض بيه ياخذ فلوس يعني من يجوا يسألوا الانشورنس يقول لهم أنا أخذ تعبي.
And another thing I see, and we'll talk about how to put this in place, right? So there's no mention in the law about how to get these benefits paid, right? But generally speaking, from what we've seen in our area, in our field, is generally it's, you know, whatever is happening is kind of reduced to a form.
Yes.
A replacement service form, which kind of lists all of the services that are being provided to you. And it also lists the contract essentially between you and the person providing these services, and you know how much you'll be getting paid. And the statutory amount is $20 a day, which is very outdated. They hasn't changed since the 70s. $20 a day since the 70s. It should be way more right now with inflation, but it's not. I'm sure you know the insurance companies, you know, are not trying to.
They don't want.
They're not in any hurry to change that.
Exactly. Yes. So, and then I'll kind of go over the forms in just a second, if you can translate that.
للمساعدات البيتية ماكو فشي يعني ثابت قانوني بأنه إحنا لازم نسوي فشي معين بس أكو جدول وكل مرات كل محامي عنده جدول شكل الجدول
المحامي
بالضبط ماكو فد جدول ثابت بس راح احنا نمشي على فد جدول معين عندنا الجدول بشنو الاشياء اللي كنت مثلا قبل الحادث تقدر تسويها وورا الحادث ما تقدر تسويها وهمنا بيها العقد اللي بينك وبين الشخص اللي راح يسوي لك المساعدات واللي هي طبعا من سنة السبعينات لحد الآن هي $20 بالنهار ما مستعجلين يعملوها
يعني 50 سنة فرق 50 سنة بقت
وعليها 20 بالضبط، وكل
يعني
شيء
وقتها كانت كل شيء هوايه
بالضبط كل شيء.
should be a lot more now.
yeah.
هسه ما حد اذا يجون يسوي لك يقصون حشيش ما حد ياخذ 20.
Right. This is a day too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, it's per day, but I also don't want to minimize it. 600, $400, $300, $400, $500, $600 a month can make a huge difference in people's
30
lives.
30 days in the month. Let's say that's $600 a month.
Yeah.
So
مثل ما قلنا هو $20 بالنهار، اذا 30 يوم بالشهر اللي $600. همنا بها تغيير حياه.
ليش تروح؟
Yes.
I mean, how many times have you sat around and looked at your bills and gone, man, if I just had $600 more a month,
Yeah. So one of the ways that our clients get tripped up sometimes too, and I'll just give an example. Let's say they don't have a lawyer and they're making this claim themselves. So, the insurance company calls, it says, hey, is there somebody helping you around the house? And they say yes. They answer that question, yes. Say, okay, well, I'm going to send you a form to fill out and send it back to us, and whatever we'll pay, whatever we have to pay. Then they'll send a form that is similar to the household service forms that you see across the state of Michigan, but these forms are different than the forms that I would advise my clients to fill out, because these forms are, in my opinion, made in a way to trick you into putting something down that's I don't know.
The forms from the insurance company are designed to find issues that they can use to make their own determination on a claim, whether that's in your favor or not is going to be in question.
And I'll go through one specific example.
Yeah.
مثل ما قلت ماكو جدول خاص. الانشورنس راح مرات قبل ما الزبون يتصل بالمحامي، الانشورنس راح تدز اوراق للزبون للمتاذي للمصاب، فراح الجداول مال الانشورنس مكتوبه بطريقه حتى عندهم هم ثغره يخلون المصاب يغلط وما يندفع له. فاحنا دائما نقول للزبائن مالتنا بانه استعملوا الجداول اللي احنا عندنا.
And a lot of the times our clients don't even understand the forms, right? So there could be a question as to, what are you helping out with every day? They could put down taking out the garbage, right? Well, how are you taking out the garbage every day? Garbage comes once a week. Mm-hmm. But the way it's phrased, it's that's how they ask it to kind of trip you up. And then when your case goes into litigation and they take your deposition, they're going to say, oh, you're taking out the trash every day? Oh, no, I wasn't. Well, this piece of paper says that you were. Right. So you're lying, essentially.
أبسط شيء بأنه أنت راح تطلع الزبالة من البيت. جدولهم مكتوب يوميا. إذا أنت قاعد ببيت ما تطلع الزبالة يوميا، بالأسبوع مرة. بالضبط. فراح تجي من نخلص القضية، من تصعد القضية بالمحكمة، راح يسوون وياه إفادة، راح يقولوا له أنت تطلع الزبالة يوميا، يقول لهم لا، مرة بالأسبوع. يقول له لا، شلون أنت حاطها يومية؟ لا، هاي مثلا. هذا أبسط مثال.
Compared to our, the forms that I would advise my clients to use, it simply says, what have you helped out with throughout the month? Right? We're not saying what have you done every single day. Throughout the month, what have you kind of helped with? And you can mark down taking out the garbage. This is actually true. Throughout the month, you took out the garbage 3 or 4 times that month. That's the accurate statement.
جداولنا تحكي على الشهر كاملة، مو على اليوم. فإذا تحط أنت تحط صح قدام أنا بأنه نعم أطلع الزبالة، بس هي شهريا تقدر مرة، يجوز 30 مرة إذا أنت قاعد بأبارتمنت تنزلها يوميا برا، لو احتمال أنت قاعد ببيت ومرة بالأسبوع تطلعها. ما راح تكون أنت محدد. فاللي عندنا شوية السؤال مفتوح بالضبط.
So anyhow, let's go through some of these services that you can get assistance with. So we're talking about replacement services, only household help. We're not talking about attending care just yet.
Yes, we're not talking about like nursing care services or something like that. We'll get into that later though.
مثل ما قلنا بدنا نحكي على المساعدات البيتية فقط وليس الشخصية، هاي بس البيتية. وراح نجي بالضبط هسه نقول شنو هي الأشياء البيتية.
قبل ما يكمل رجاء بالنسبة للإخوة الأخوات المستمعين المشاهدين، دائما لما يصير عندك إصابة يعني قبل ما الانشورنس اتصل بالمحامي حتى هو يلزم الكيس مالك مباشرة، لأنه حتى لا تغلط. تمام،
صحيح. والاستشارة مجانية.
It's a free consultation.
Exactly.
يعني they have to call the lawyer before
the best.
Yeah. And look,
meeting with insurance.
You know what I deal with every single day, you know, whenever we get a case that's a little bit later, they came to us 6 months after the accident, 8 months after the accident. Yeah. I always ask, you know, why did you wait so long to come see me? I don't know why. Maybe I do know why. Maybe because I'm a lawyer, I'm just used to it. But don't be afraid to call your lawyer. I mean, listen, we're not going to file a lawsuit unless you tell us to. We're simply going to deal with the adjuster, deal with the insurance company on your behalf, and it doesn't cost you any money out of pocket.
And make sure you get the benefits, right? Because a lot of people are essentially losing out on benefits they don't even know they have access to.
Correct.
أكثر الزبائن يجون ورا 5-6 أشهر. دائما المحامي سؤاله ليش ورا 5-6 أشهر 7 أشهر؟ هاي كلها تأثر على القضية. هواية أكو أشياء خاصة بالجالية هواية ما يعرفون شنو القوانين المطلوبة، لو شنو الحق لهم. الانشورنس ما راح يجي يقول لهم أنتم حقكم هيك وهيك. لا، أنت لازم تعرف شنو حقك. والاستشارة مجانية. ما نرفع قضية إذا ما ناخذ الأوكي من عندكم، ما نسوي أي شيء إذا إحنا ما مستشارين الزبون. فسألوا سؤال ببلاش.
سؤال مجاني
وما بيها أي مصاريف.
نعم.
من نمشي بالقضية ما بيها أي مصاريف للزبون. طبعا إن أكو مصاريف لازم إحنا نسويها بس نجحت القضية تطلع لها مصاريف.
If I were the callers, I would take full advantage of this. You know, if you are going through a divorce, for example, or if you're going through any sort of other case, you call your lawyer, they're going to charge you for every single second that they're on the phone with you.
Yeah.
I've heard people tell me I'm scared to call my lawyer because every time I call them, they charge me.
Yeah.
We don't do that, right?
That's true.
يعني لو من أي شخص عنده حادث سيارة الاستشارة مجانية، رأسا أشيل التليفون واتصل.
مدام فري.
بالضبط. يعني بلاش.
نعم.
إذا تروح يعني عندك طلاق، لو عندك سوشيال سيكيورتي، لو عندك أي شيء تخابر أي محامي، على كل دقيقة تحكي وياه هو يشرجك. بالضبط. هاي مصالحهم.
يقول لك if you call me I will charge you.
Yeah, we're a contingency fee, so that means we only recover any money for ourselves if and when we recover money for our clients. So
احنا بالنسبة لنا من نربح القضية ذاك الوقت، من القضية الزبون تربح، احنا ناخذ حقوقنا والبقية للزبون.
All right. Anyhow, so let's go over the list of services.
Yes.
So just these are kind of a general list that we'll go through really quick.
This is including but not limited to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So vacuuming, dishwashing, making bed, grocery shopping, cleaning, ironing, laundry, taking out the garbage, changing linens, cooking, and meal preparation.
Yeah,
it's a big one. Child care.
It's a big one.
So mopping wasn't on this list. Does that count?
Yes.
It does? How about cleaning the bathroom?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about power washing the side of the house?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about
why not?
How about cleaning windows?
Cleaning windows. So there's and the idea here.
There's a lot of things.
There's a lot. The idea here is when you're injured in an accident, right? What's going on? I mean, you're messed up.
Yeah. The last thing I had on the list was outdoor work, and this is kind of funny. I ran into a client one time where we had just signed this person up, and they were they had got some forms from the insurance company, and they said they didn't understand the forms. That's why they called me, and I was going through the forms with them, and it said that they were snow plowing in the summertime, and I said, do you understand, you put snow plowing down and it's July? And they said, no, I thought this meant yard work or cutting the grass. Like they had no idea what it meant. So imagine when the insurance company gets that form that says that they were snow plowing in July.
Yeah.
And
it's not going to be very good for your case.
And this is a really big problem because a lot of the time they'll put, like some forms that I've seen have mowing the lawn as a specific item. Well, what if what they're actually doing is they're trimming the hedges? Okay. So what they do is well, mowing's close enough to that. So they check off mowing. And then the insurance company sends out a surveillance person. And that day they don't see them mowing the lawn.
Right. They don't know. They don't think that they can just check off the other box and kind of list that,
or write in something manually or whatever it is. Yeah.
واحدة من راح نمشي هسه الكالندر اللي هي الجدول اللي عندنا. شنو الأشياء اللي تعتبر المساعدات البيتية اللي هي مثلا تنظيف الزولية، غسل الصحون، تعديل الفراش السرير، تروح تتسوق، تنظيف بشكل عام، الضرب الأوتي الايرنينج، تغسل الملابس، عندنا اذا تطلع الزباله، عندنا اذا تطبخ، اذا عندك اطفال لازم عنايه بالاطفال، وعندنا همنا الترتيب البرة، تنظيف البرة خارج البيت.
نعم.
اللي هو يشمل الحديقة، إذا أكو ثلج، إذا أكو الحشيش، قص الحشيش، إذا عندك زرع لازم تقلمه.
زين، هذه الشغلات، العفو.
نعم.
هذه الشغلات كلها تصير يعني كلها ياخذ عليها مبالغ؟
لا.
كلها إذا سجلها؟
What's the question?
The question is, does he get paid for each one of them?
That's a great question. So the answer is that you can get paid up to $20 per day under the Michigan No Fault Act. Okay, so you could spend a total of 1 hour in that day, or you could spend a total of 14 hours in that day doing all these services, and you are entitled to a maximum of $20 per day under the No Fault Act, which is why plaintiffs' lawyers like to complain that it hasn't changed since the 1970s.
Yeah.
تقدر تسوي بأنه طبعا ما تأخذ على كل شغلة حاجة تسويها،
يعني
لا، هاي كلها $20 بالنهار. اكو شخص عنده مثلا اطفال وبس تسوي
شغله واحده
بالضبط، مساعده الاطفال، بس هي النهار كله مساعده الاطفال. مثلا الطبخ يقدر يطول ساعه، بس يقدر يطول 3 ساعات اذا تسوي باتشلو لفدولمان، صح؟
Now I will say there is a way that people can be paid hourly, but that is for a different type of care called attendant care, which we will get into. Okay, so we're specifically talking about replacement services, the housework right now.
Yeah. So هاي المساعدات قطعية $20 بالنهار إذا تسوي شغلة أو 10 شغلات.
No.
All right, let's get into the attendant care then.
May as well.
Yeah.
So this is one of the benefits you have to buy, though.
Yeah.
Right. This if you opt out of PIP benefits, you do not get attendant care generally
so this is
without a rider.
Specific that you need to have on your policy.
Yeah.
هسه السبجكت مالتنا الثاني، الموضوع الثاني، بأنه المساعدة الشخصية. المساعدة الشخصية جدا مهمة. احنا قلنا إذا ندفع الباليسي مالتنا، المساعدة البيتية موجودة ويا الباليسي،
هذه $20
خلاص انتهى. انت ما دام عندك باليسي تطلع لك هاي. بس المساعدة الشخصية إذا ما تختار البيرسونال انجري بروتكشن اللي هي المساعدات اذا هي الخطا
you have to purchase. You have to purchase.
Yeah. It is a personal injury protection. Yes. بأنه عندك تغطية للطبابة عن طريق الانشورنس. إذا هاي ما تختارها، احنا بنقول اكو unlimited و250 واكو 50 همينة ألف. إذا ما تختارها ما تطلع لك مساعدات شخصية نهائيا.
So if you opt out of a PIP policy, of the allowable expense portion specifically of your PIP policy, you will not actually, generally speaking, be entitled to attendant care unless you then purchase a separate rider which is added onto it. Very few people do that because they opt out because they don't want to spend the money. So attendant care requires that you purchase an allowable expense portion of your PIP policy that has some amount of coverage.
بالضبط مثل ما قلنا لازم تختارها بأنه أنت تدفع لو مفتوح لو عندك 250 لو 50 إذا ما تختاره ما عندك هذا التغطية.
And the difference between that and the replacement services is included in all policies by default.
مثل ما قلت بالبداية المساعدات البيتية ما دام أنت عندك عندك policy تدفع عليها أنت عندك هاي التغطية. بالضبط.
So now, with respect to attendant care, it starts out very similar to replacement services, okay? Again, these are services that you were able to do for yourself, but they're much more personal services, okay? But they were things you were able to do for yourself before the accident and that you couldn't do after the accident, okay? And it was as a result of the injuries. And additionally, just like replacement services, someone's coming in to help you with them, and there's some kind of agreement or expectation that that person will be paid. Both of those are still true.
مثل المساعدة البيتية المساعدة الشخصية همينة بأنه تكون بأنه يجي شخص يساعدك وعلى الأشياء اللي أنت كنت تقدر تسويها قبل الحادث لنفسك اللي هسه ورا الحادث ما تقدر تسويها بعد وهذا الشخص أنت تتفق وياه بأنه لازم تدفع له لأنه هو راح يسوي لك الأشياء الشخصية.
The reason why we keep mentioning that phrase that you had to have been doing this prior to the accident, you can't do it anymore, because that's what the statute specifically says.
Yeah.
So that is the rule. If it can't be something that, you know, if you weren't taking out the garbage before the accident, you can't claim it now after the accident.
Right.
So that's why Tamara keeps saying that very specific language of you having to do this prior to the accident.
And this is another real common mistake. People are presented with this form, right? And the form says, well, what is this person helping you with? And they're like, oh, well, they're helping me, you know, walk my dogs, and they're helping with my kids, and they're helping me go grocery shopping. Well, what were they helping you with before the accident?
Right.
Oh, well, they were helping me walk my dog and take care of my kids and go grocery shopping. Well, wait a minute. Why are you claiming this against the insurance company then? We think it's fraud, right? And they're like, well, wait, no, they're also helping me with these other things. Well, yeah, but you said you were claiming money for these things. And so I think that's the thing that gets people is when they're filling out these. It is confusing though, right? Because you're like, well, what does this person help you with? That's what you look at and that's what you think. But it's more complicated than that. It's those things that you needed help with related to the injuries sustained in the accident and that the person is asking for payment for.
نظل نقول بأنه أنت ليش دائما نقول أنت شنو هي الأشياء اللي كنت تسويها قبل ما تتضرر من الحادث إلى الأشياء اللي هسه ما تقدر تسويها بعد تضررك من الحادث قانونيا. هاي بالضبط القانون مكتوب بهالطريقة بأنه أكو هواية يجون يقول تساعدني بالطبخ. اوكي انت قبل الحادث كنت تطبخ
عشان تساعدك
اي وهسه هم مرتلخ شنو الفرق؟ ماكو فرق. فلازم اكو فروق يلا نقدر لانه بعدين يحتسبوها تحايل على القانون.
اوكي فروق مثلا انا مثلا عندي مخطط اروح سفره بعد شهر وصار عندي الحادث ما راح اقدر اروح. هذه شلون؟
Okay.
You actually brought up another point that I just thought of.
Yes.
Vacations.
What was the question?
The question is, okay, in a month I'm going to go on vacation, and before the month comes, I got in a car accident. So, what is the compensation of that?
So, are you asking? Are you going to be compensated for the vacation itself?
Vacation or anything?
I think no. So the answer is no. What we could claim potentially is.
I have tickets. I have everything ready.
Well, no. So that they're not going to get compensated on the PIP part. But what you can get compensated for,
pain and suffering.
Make the argument for is on the third party, the pain and suffering end.
Yeah.
How your life changed after the accident.
Bingo.
I changed because I had a vacation plan and I'm not going anymore.
I can't.
I have to tell you something. Yes. My parents were in an accident very recently, and they missed not one but 2 trips that they booked overseas because they were in an accident. So
no, I'm saying you can get something.
Well, no, it doesn't. They won't be
party the case against the other driver.
Yes.
So in your demand, whatever you're claiming, you're going to say that I missed the vacation that I was planning on going.
Yes.
That's my enjoyment.
Right.
That's how my life changed after the accident.
This is the change.
So that matters, but not as to the PIP benefits, right? So this is not a benefit that you will get from your own policy. This is rather a pain. This is rather a benefit that you could potentially get from the at-fault driver if they're at fault and they have insurance coverage. We're not really covering that much today, although we've talked about it in the past. But it's a great question. But it does go to the impact on your life generally.
مثل ما تفضلت استاذ ساهر، هذا الجزء من القضيه ما يغطي الاسعار التكتات اذا ما تقدر تسافر لو اي شيء، بس نقدر نحطها للقضيه الاخرى مال العطل وضرر، بانه انت تضررت من وراء هذا الحادث وغيرت حياتك، بانه انت ما قدرت بعد تسافر تطلع وتغير جو وتشوف أهلك أو أي سبب من الأسباب، حتى لو الشغل كان همينة، هذا تروح بويا القضية الأخرى اللي هي مال عطل وضرر.
Okay, so Lawrence, what do you think? Should we go into what the examples of these services are, or do you want to do the compensation?
Well, really quick, I just Sarah brought up a good point that I want to talk about. So vacations, right? So a lot of times, another issue that I've seen before is somebody that's trying to claim attending care replacement services. They didn't realize that, hey, you were on vacation this week.
Or the care provider was.
Or the care provider was. Mm-hmm. So if anyone's doing these forms on their own, hopefully they're not, but just be very careful on the days that you're selecting, because if you put down the wrong date and you're on vacation, that person's on vacation, it's not going to make sense for you to have any replacement services that day. So just you gotta be very careful on what you're putting down on these forms. Make sure that they're completely accurate and truthful.
Yeah, and I might even give an example. So let's say you are on a trip and you are claiming that you needed assistance with going grocery shopping. Okay. But you just went on the trip and you're in a hotel and there's no grocery shopping because you're getting takeout every day or you're going to the restaurants. Right. You shouldn't be claiming that person is helping you with grocery shopping. This should be obvious, I think, because
we don't see this on an intentional basis.
Yes.
When I've seen these, it's when somebody's filling out the forms and they didn't fill out that form that same day. They're filling it out.
They forgot.
A week after, 2 weeks after, a month later. That sort of thing. So I don't think it's intentional, but I think it has a lot to do with not understanding the forms and just making sure that whatever you're putting down, remember, if you don't understand the form and put something down, the courts are not going to take your side on this. Yeah. So if you put down something that's not accurate, they will say that it's a misrepresentation and your case has a good chance of, getting dismissed or getting something very close to that. Yeah, I mean, if you don't understand the forms, you gotta ask your attorney.
Yeah,
I mean that's the bottom line.
Don't fill an
don't guess
if you don't.
It's just a bad idea.
What's going to taste?
And that is why we are in our position.
That's why we help people with this all the time.
We get these forms. We check them out.
Yes.
We make sure we call the client. We make sure everything is perfect before we send it.
And also don't just, hey, my cousin or my relative knows how to read and write English. Let me just take it to them. Don't do that. No. Before I started working in this business, I probably couldn't even advise you on the right way to fill these forms out.
Yes.
And I mean, it's fine to have someone who speaks English help you fill out the form, but the thing is they're not you. They don't know what services you got. And actually, Lawrence, that's a really good point, because I've talked to clients and I said, well, why did you fill this out? And they said, hey, I had my friend help. And it's like, well, they weren't there.
Okay.
I feel like we got to give her some breathing room to translate.
So,
I think we need a little button on the desk. So whenever, just push it so we can stop talking.
Yeah. Time's up.
There you go.
I'll give you a flag.
Yes, a flag. مثل ما تفضل أستاذ ساهر، جاب نقطة جدا مهمة، بأنه إذا واحد يكون مسافر أو يسافر، هواية من إحنا نسافر هواية، نحب السفر كليتنا، هواية تجينا الكالندرز، الجداول كلها مغطاية وكلها مسوينهم مساعدات، بس هم رايحين أسبوع مسافرين مثلا. ما يصير. ليش؟ لأنه من تسافر تقعد بفندق، تقعد يم أهل، تقعد يم تطلع، ماكو ما تروح تتسوق، ما
تسوي أكل،
ما تنظف إذا تروح بأوتيل منه أنت ما تنظف الأوتيل. بالضبط. فلازم نكون جدا دقيقين شو نحط على هذا الجدول، لأنه إذا صعدت القضية للمحكمة العليا والمحكمة العليا يقدرون يشوفون إذا أنت مسافر لو لا، يعرفون كل شيء
طبعا.
زين، وأنت مالي هاي ال3 أيام تخسر القضية كلها
من على مود هالشيء هذا.
وإحنا ما نسويه عن قصد مرات، لأنه مرات هواية زبائن يملوها مرة بالشهر كلها، فما يتذكرون مثلا ساعة الساعة سووا صح لو مو صح.
يعني لازم يتذكر التواريخ.
بالضبط، تتذكر التواريخ ويعتبرها بأنه المحكمة تعتبرها لعب واحتيال، فالقضية تخسر على مود $20 بالنهار. حرامات.
So can you imagine if you lost your whole case? Could be hundreds of thousands of dollars for a $20 a day claim.
Yes. دائما نحكي الحكاية.
وهذا أهم شيء، حتى هذا البرنامج هو تثقيفي على مود هالشيء هذا.
بالضبط. لذلك احنا بدنا نحكي عليها بالتفصيل هو جدا
حتى
بسيط.
التفصيل الممل.
بالضبط، هي جدا بسيطة. بس هم نرجع ونقول لا تخلي اي احد يملي لك اياها، حتى لو اهلك،
حتى لو يعرف انجليزي زين،
يعرف انجليزيا، هو ما يعرف انت ايش تسوي. احسن شيء اتصل بالمحامي، والمحامي هو يقول لك ايش تقدر تسوي. دزها احنا نشوفها.
ايش قد رقم تليفونكم؟
248-702-6641.
248-702-6641. This is your phone number.
Yes.
طبعا تقدرون تخابرون الى المكتب مال المحامي لورنس قاجي. تمارا تجاوب، تحكي عربي، تشرح لكم كل شيء، والاستشاره ايضا مجانيه، تسوي لكم مواعيد، فهذا شيء جدا مهم. صح.
صحيح 100%.
Now, Lawrence, we haven't talked about the difference in compensation between attendant care and replacement services, and we also haven't really explained all of what can be involved in attendant care. So, what do you want to start with?
I think we should start with the compensation.
We have 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay.
We will talk fast.
So we know the replacement services, they max out at $20 per day.
Right.
The attendant care is not. They don't have a such rule. The attendant care is paid by the hour.
No.
Or even separate to any agreement, really.
Right.
But typically hourly.
مثل ما قلنا المساعدات البيتية هي $20 قطعي بالنهار، بينما المساعدات الشخصية هي بالساعة، تندفع بالساعة.
Sometimes it depends on your craft, I guess. If you are a nurse or some sort of medical professional, you probably will get paid more per hour.
And the legal basis of it is the insurance company is required to pay a reasonable rate. What that is varies dramatically based on what you're doing and the experience that someone has. So if they're, for example, a certified nursing assistant, right, or an LPN, that's going to be worth more.
They're not going to get the same amount as me, for example, helping someone out. Right.
مثل ما قلنا هي المساعدات الصحية بالساعة تندفع، ويعتمد بأنه الشخص اللي يساعدك بالضبط هل هو مخلص دراسة، مو يعني عنده شهادات طبية كممرض أو كمساعد ممرض أو مساعد طبيب أو طبيب همينة يقدر اللي يساعدك. هذول اللي يأخذون مصاريفهم كل أعلى من ما إذا مثلا الأم بس تساعدك، لو الأب بس يساعدك، كل واحد يعني دفع مالته شكل.
And just to show you the significance of this, John, before. So think about if somebody's badly injured in a car accident, they need around-the-clock care, 24-hour attendant care. And let's say they're paying at $20 a day, $20 an hour, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So, $20 an hour, 24 hours, that's $480 a day.
Per day,
Per
not
day.
per month.
Not per month.
And
$480 per day. So you see the difference?
الفرق بأنه هاي نقول واحد متضرر وواحد يساعده ياخذ، خلينا نقول $20 بالساعة. إذا هو متضرر ويحتاج 24 ساعة
يعني
توصل بالنهار $480 بالنهار الواحد. Sorry.
Last words.
You know, I told
We got so much
had
more.
another topic, and I told John
I
we're not going to get to it.
You were right.
Next week we will continue.
You're right. You're right. But again, always a pleasure being here. Love it. We got a lot more to talk
Yeah,
about,
for
so
sure.
we'll continue this.
Definitely.
شكرا جزيلا، وإن شاء الله نكمل الموضوع بالأسبوع القادم.
Thank you Mr.
Thank you.
لورنس. Thank you Mr. John.
Thank
شكرا ست تمارا. مستمعينا مشاهدينا الأكارم، كنا مع برنامج المحامي لورنس قاجي. نلتقيكم إن شاء الله الأسبوع القادم. إلى اللقاء يا أحلى الأصدقاء.